Hello, Salome. Good day.
Good afternoon, good morning.
Hello, hello.
Are you, Fabiola? You well?
Yep, here I am. Okay, we have so far Miladen, Shnafi, and Salome. Shnafi is connected. Let's say he can connect again. And if you don't mind, we may begin in a minute or two at most to wait for the other college that connect, the other panelists that can reach us. Hello, Hashnafi. Hi. Good to see you. Okay. Well, let's start. Okay. Good day, everyone. I am very happy to be here in this special day for me and for the clinical engineering division. We have a very special session today, and we are going to begin by introducing this webinar, this event. Okay, this time I am delighted to be part of a meeting where we will celebrate our college and friends from the African region, not only for their recent recognition by the IFMBE, but also for their achievements and teachings. This region has been characterized by showing, by example, how one can go from words to actions when it comes to supporting health services. The contribution of clinical engineers through their initiatives and daily work is of a value that goes beyond the line of duty. We are talking about fostering a culture of service, discipline, and continuous improvement supported by experience and preparation. As in everything, there are challenges, and sometimes too great. However, the capabilities being built present a solid front against them. Now, I will give the floor to my colleague, who will present important issues related to this wonderful region. I welcome to you all, and I'd like to introduce my guests in this session. We have the presence of Miladen Poluta from South Africa. Hello, Miladen. Some opening comments would you like to share with us?
Yeah, thank you, Fabiola, for that wonderful introduction. And thank you, and I greet colleagues that have joined. It is, I think, a pleasure to be part of this meeting, which in a sense puts a seal on Global CE Week 2022. And I look forward to the comments and the presentations from my African colleagues, but also from colleagues from other areas and regions. Thank you.
Thank you and welcome. We have also the presence of Mr. Ashnafi Hussein from Ethiopia. Welcome, Ashnafi. It's a pleasure to have you here. Can you share some opening comments with us?
Thank you, Fabiola. Thank you for the organizers, and welcome to all of you. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm so happy to be joining this webinar. And thank you very much for IFMBE and CED division for a wonderful work and for the support you have done for Africa. We were a working group on African activity, and now we are Africa region. And it's the effort of all the members of the African region and the efforts of all the professionals. And we give credit to all of you. Thank you so much and welcome.
Thank you, Shnafi. We also have the presence of Salome Mwaura from Kenya. Welcome, Salome. Any opening comments would you like to share with us?
Good evening, everyone from Nairobi, Kenya. Happy to be with you and to join this meeting. We are excited that we can be able to share what is unique for us as Africans in this kind of a meeting. And I look forward to very nice interactions in the next 1 hour. Thank you.
Thank you, and welcome. Well,
thank you.
Thanks to you. We are going to begin by giving the floor to Mr. Shnafi Hussein, who will present some important topic from the region. Shnafi, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Fabiola, and hello, everyone. As you all know, the Africa region has been created after the Congress that has been held in Singapore in 2022. But to just tell the story how it began, it has a long story, and to make long story very short, most of the African colleagues, clinical engineers, biomedical engineers, maintenance engineers, they have been working in different areas and in different regions and in different countries. And they come up with creating societies in order to create collaboration, in order to ask for the rights of the profession, in order to communicate, in order to share ideas, in order to share documents, experiences, a lot of activity. So having done this, different countries in Africa, they have created their own societies with different naming. Some of them call it societies of biomedical engineering, some call it clinical engineers, some call it maintenance engineers, some call it healthcare professionals and the likes. So having all these professional societies together and come up with a sort of a group or a region or a federation, or it could be, professionals getting together to make up a very strong entity. Our professionals from different regions have met in South Africa back in 2015, 2016, just to form such kind of coalition, such kind of region or working group, or you can give it a different name. And the idea has been developed in South Africa, in Johannesburg. At that time, different societies have sent their delegates, and this has been an initial point to create this Africa region. And then in different platforms, we have communicated with each other. And in 2018, there was a meeting with IFMBE, which was held in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, where professional societies from DRC, from Benin, from Ghana, Nigeria, Kenya, Ethiopia, Burundi, South Africa, Uganda, and Mali have joined, and their representative have been present with the IFMB officers, where the initial idea that was planned in South Africa was developed, and working group on African activity was created as an interim working group in 2018 in Addis Ababa. So after that, this working group has worked different activity. We have developed a plan, we have developed a charter, but with lots of difficulties and with lots of challenges due to the meeting, due to the language barrier, due to the presence of participants. a few members were actively participating, but having gone through that challenge, then comes COVID, okay, where this COVID challenge has, created a lot of problems, not only for the working group, but also for other regions, which hinders us to proceed with a plan that we have submitted. But having been through these challenges, even 3 or 4 members of the working group have tried to get together, and we have been highly supported by Clinical Engineering Division of IFMBE, and we acknowledge by this time the Clinical Engineering Division, which has supported us in organizing different webinars, different, town halls, and different sharing of, documents via social media, and they have been so supportive, and we were highly actively engaged with this division, and we highly recognize and we highly appreciate this clinical engineering division. So having gone through this, and there were only 5 countries who have, there were actually 3 to 4 countries who have already joined IFMBE, but through this difficult time, 4 more countries have joined IFMBE, which increase the members of IFMBE to 7 to 8. And then through that time, there were also other countries who have applied to join IFMBE, like Rwanda, for example. They have applied for the society, and it has been approved. So we as a working group, we had different plans. We have plans and budgets that have been submitted to IFMBE, but due to the challenges from our own problem, as well as to the challenges in the world, we have never made the plan that we were supposed to do, but we have also achieved some activities. So having gone through this, we have been requesting about creating of this Africa region for IFMBE, and we have submitted a proposal for the creation of African region, because this working group on African activity was reporting to Europe and Africa region, and we have requested for the region to be created. And with the former president and with the current president and all the IFMBE councils and administrative councils and members, they have supported our idea, and based on that, the creation of the African region become reality. And we want to thank each and everyone who have supported us in creating this region. And I want to give credit to all members of the working group, all the professionals. This region is for everybody. It's not only for some country, but it's for everybody. And we also expect CED division for the enormous support that they have been with us, and we expect them also to support us. And with this, I finish my presentation. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody.
Fabiola, your mic is off.
Okay, thank you so much. Thanks, Shnafi, for your words, for your participation. I was saying that it has been a long journey, and these results are a consequence of the efforts of many people, either directly by managing these meetings and working on the proposals, and by participating in the activities that you have developed. So congratulations, it is very well deserved, and I'm very happy to be part of this history. Congrats. Well, now I'd like to give the floor to Mrs. Salome Moura and ask her to show her presentations and her thoughts and feelings. Welcome, Salome, the floor is yours.
Thank you again, everyone. Again, I'm Salome Maura from Kenya. And as biomedical engineers in Africa, I think we are all faced with the same kind of unique things, but we'd want to appreciate even the formation of the African Working Group, because it has managed to bring together majority of the African countries. The monthly or the very frequent meetings that are normally scheduled have made us understand one another and get to know what each country are able to experience as they continue with their biomedical engineering. And just like Asinafi has said, we have a problem, especially with language barrier, because we have those who speak French, we have Portuguese, we have English speaking. So if we convene a meeting and you're speaking in English and I don't understand English, I might not be able to understand what you're saying. So at times we just go into the recordings and you're able to follow what your colleague was talking about much later. So in essence, you're maybe not able to contribute in the meeting. We're also having challenges with time zones. Thank you, Fabiola, for indicating that it's supposed to be 5 p.m. my time, because at times we don't know what is 10 a.m. EAT time. So by the time I'm translating, I'm thinking it's 7 p.m. So by the time I'm coming into the meeting is over. So I think in every other subsequent meeting, let us translate the timings, if it's East Africa, Central Africa, and other regions, so that we are able to get into the meetings on time. We again experience connection issues. Actually, where I am seated, I can't move. If I move, I will lose the connection. And this happens in most of the region, and it affects so many people. Our secretary, George, has tried convening meetings, but he loses connection and we are not able to continue with the meeting. But with time, we are able to understand, and we take longer. It was to be a 1 hour meeting. It ends up being a 2 hours meeting, because we have to wait for everybody to have a stable connection for us to be able to continue with the meeting. But that notwithstanding, we are able to face it and we continue with our meetings. We also, like during COVID, most of the people were not in a position maybe to attend to the meetings or to attend to most of the issues that were supposed to be done, because at times people were in isolation, others were busy in hospitals, because COVID came with so many other things that needed to be done in our hospitals. So it really took a lot of our time, and we had to put some things on hold. We thank God that it has subsided, and now life is almost, if not back to normal, and we can be able to go back to our normal schedules. I would also want to thank IFBME for the formation of the Africa Working Group. Just like Ashanafi has said, the growth has really transformed us. This is one forum that brings so many African countries together. We have not had any other that brings people together. Like this thing started back in 2015, but when we see it's progressing like this, we are all happy and amazed, because I think we were there since inception, and the hurdles that have been there, we can say they are no longer there. Even our being able to attend the conferences as the African team in Rome, in Singapore, wherever, it has really made us get different exposures, and most associations now are able to appreciate the achievements that have been done. And we would really wish that as the developed countries are still ahead of us, please try to accommodate us. I think right now our pace is a bit fast. It's not as low as when we started, but now we are able to be able to continue with the works efficiently. So other than that, we have also had to engage with each other. It also expands our network. That's a very nice positive, because when the meeting started, we were able to know that people like Ashenafi exist, which I wouldn't have known were it not for that meeting. So we have been able even to realize the countries that have issues even with formation of their associations, and they have tried reaching out. For those who have been able to reach out, we've always tried to assist them, and it has really grown. Hearing that we have now another 5 that are joining, that's a significant growth. Yet we did not know that these countries had their association, and even some didn't have. So through a lot of these meetings, they were able to reach out to us, those who have had associations for a long time. We have been able to walk the journey with them. And when we hear now that they're registering their association, we are more than excited to have our colleagues on board. So we are happy that this came to be, because without it, we wouldn't be here where we are today. And we are looking forward for more engagements, more growth, reaching out, having forums where we can be able to reach each and every country, like in the East African region, where we have 5 countries. Before COVID, we are having biannual meetings, which we are still, they are supposed to resume from next year, which made the 5 countries be like sisters and brothers. We are so close to each other that whatever happens in Uganda, they can be able to reach people in Kenya, and we help each other with ideas of what happens. So we would also wish if every other African region would form their own in-house, so that as a small region, they can also reach out to the bigger region, and that way we'll be able to grow. Because Kenya, Rwanda, Burundi, Tanzania, Uganda, we have been together for several years, and it has really improved. Even consultancy within the region has become very easy, because people are relating with people they know. You're not being referred to that person. This is somebody you've related with, and it's somebody that you know that you can be able to reach out to, and they have helped us. And with that, I think I will reach there, and I will continue listening to others as I also give my input. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments, for your input. Yeah, there are issues that has to be managed in a better way. One of them, as you said, is the language barriers. Yes, it's not easy to communicate effectively if we speak several languages. And in this regard, from CED, we are planning to adding to the current tools for translating webinars and other more robust, in order to allow the meetings that are able to be released in other language. For example, French could be done, and the ones who don't speak this language could understand you, as you said, by translating this meeting. So this is one thing that I am concerned and I'm aware, and I'm working on. The time zones, it's also another issue. Believe me, I am trying to convey all the time zones. It is not easy. I think in the time that will be from here, we will define and refine the process in order to make it easy for most of our colleagues to join us. So it is a very important issue that you have said, and your comments are very, very well welcome, and thank you for your inputs. Now I'd like to share the floor to Mr. Milan Poluta from South Africa. Welcome, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Fabiola, and thank you, colleagues, for your contributions. Can I just confirm, are you able to see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So I'm going to take a slightly different approach, seeing that I'm the old man in the meeting, and just take a short trip so that we can share where we've come from. And it's been a fairly long road, but there have also been great successes in the past. And I think, even as we celebrate the creation of the IFMBE region, I think we also need to celebrate and build upon what has been achieved in the past. And there's a lot that has been achieved in the past. So just very briefly, the Biomedical Engineering Society of South Africa, in fact, was a founding member of the IFMBE. And then in 1994, as South Africa held its first democratic election, with the phasing in of the new government under Nelson Mandela, well, 2 weeks before our elections, there was a regional workshop, regional meaning sub-Saharan African workshop on health technology that was held in Cape Town, with clinical engineering as one of the themes. And that was for the first time that many of us in the African region had met one another. But one of the key outputs from that meeting was a meeting statement that was then submitted to the meeting of the WHO Afro region later that year. And in fact, it led to the passing of the resolution that you see there, the resolution on the selection of health technologies at the district level. And that was the first time that health technology, and then by extension, clinical engineering, was actually addressed at the table and in the discussions of the WHO Afro region. Then in 1995 and 1996, we had Medic Africa meetings, both in South Africa and in Nigeria. I did participate in the ones in Johannesburg in South Africa. And there were meetings with support from the WHO and the GTZ and other stakeholders, where again, together with colleagues from the African region, some important processes were set in place. Probably the most important was the establishment of the AFTH, the African Federation for Technology and Healthcare. And this was enabled again through support of WHO and bilateral agencies, and in particular the GTZ. And that is a structure. The AFTH had an executive committee, it had a board, constitution, bylaws, which could in fact serve as a model for the new region of the IFMBE, the African region, and a federation that could emerge out of that. And all this time, there was the Working Group for Developing Countries of the IFMBE, which again was supporting all regions, but particularly the African region, as well as the IUPESM Health Technology Task Group. More recently, I'm very happy to say that the Clinical Engineering Society of South Africa has joined the IFMBE, as well as the Global Clinical Engineering Alliance. And Africa Health has come to Africa, to Johannesburg in particular. I've just returned from Africa Health, where for a number of years we have held very successful conferences on topics of biomedical and clinical engineering, as well as health technology assessment, with attendees from many colleagues in the African region. And that's something also to celebrate. So I'll share what, the concerns that have been expressed, but also celebrate what has been achieved thus far. And I look forward to great activities, collaboration in the future, recognizing some of the differences and the challenges that have been addressed. But I'm sure that together we can address these and overcome these, and ensure that clinical engineering in particular is recognized and given the the support that it deserves in countries in our region. Thank you, Fabiola.
Thank you, Mladen. Thank you for this this story, telling this history path of this important continent, this important region. Okay, well, at this time, I would like to open the mics to our audience. If you want to ask something, or if would you like to comment something about this inclusion of the Africa region to the IFMBE and the achievements of the region and challenges that we face in this 21st century with many health issues to deal with. So if someone would like to share your thoughts, please raise your hand and we may allow you to talk. We have some assistants from different regions. And here we have a raised hand. Again, Jane, can you talk now? You can talk now, sorry. Jin Nisejimana, please.
Yes, hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I'm talking, I'm in the African region, and I'm Congolese, and we do appreciate so much for what IFMBE is doing to us. But the biggest problem we're having here in our region, especially in our country, we have few engineers, and that is because of maybe scarcity for studies or schools that offers the medical engineering subject. So I would love to ask whether in the future plan, can you maybe think about facilitating people, maybe like putting a school which is well organized and practical? Because I'm saying this, we have one school somewhere, and when they send me a student for attachment, I realized that the background is too low. So sometimes we do produce engineers, but you will see they don't know much. So I don't know whether how can we tackle that issue. So maybe in the future, when you think, can you think about the African region and especially for French-speaking countries on how to increase the capacity and reinforce the knowledge. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your comments and your questions. If would any from the panel would like to comment or reply? Go ahead.
Fabiola, if I might,
Of course.
I think that's a very important comment. And I think it comes against the background of what is currently happening within the global space in the collaboration between the Clinical Engineering Division, led by yourself, of course, and the Global Clinical Engineering Alliance. And colleagues may not be aware of the projects that are currently underway. So one of them is capacity building and impact measurement. Another is credentialing linked to certification. And the third is policy, where the objective is to come up with strategies where a national policy can be improved, if you like, and can support the establishment of clinical engineering capability and capacity in countries and in the region. And I think to the point of our colleague is that I certainly think it's something that we should strive to create, and that is an academy of sorts for clinical engineering in the African region. Of course, it would have to be bilingual, maybe even trilingual, because we have colleagues who speak Portuguese in 3 countries in the region. but I think that this is something that maybe should be started as a project within the region. Again, there is a very good platform that has been established by what has gone before us, and we are grateful for that platform and for that legacy. And I certainly think it's something worthy, because I think one country on its own, it'll be difficult to establish. But I think as a region working collaboratively and together with the support of the CED, the GCA and the WHO, I certainly think this is something that would be of great value to the region. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm from CED. We can support you by providing some of the platforms that you might need, and of course to help you organize these initiatives. That's what we are for. So thank you so much. Okay, we have another contribution that would like to talk. Rosana Rivas, welcome. The floor is yours. Rosanna, you can talk now.
Yes, now I can talk. Thank you. I'm so happy, Fabiola, so happy that we are now celebrating the welcome to Africa, dear colleagues, and I'm more than happy, honored to have the opportunity, IFMBE community, to be engaged in this way, strong way, with the intelligence, smartness, and valuable leadership of Africa colleagues and young people from Africa in the site. I was listening carefully and the speech from Ashnafi and then from Salome. I agree with all of them. And just to talk about the gap of language is a gap, of course is a gap to take into account. And IFMBE CD, as you correctly stated, has made efforts. It was not easy. Ashnafi was there in the moment. And we work with a team, French, from Africa, myself, the ones who have been working in French with French people before. This time, on that time, to make the contents of webinars as selected contents available, accessible for Africa as well, and other French languages speakers. So it's not impossible, Salome. It's not easy as well, but it's what we are used to do, right? We are dealing with challenges, and we trust it is worth. And welcome again. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's the importance to have a strong community. We may help each other by providing these kind of tools, either the translation services, either the helping of the platforms, and of this way we can move forward together. So thank you, Rosanna, for your input, for your comments. That's very important. Okay, now I want to ask the panelists a question regarding the challenge that as a region Africa will face in the near future. We know that we are living in a special time. We know that the pandemic is not completely over, but we have to get used to a new reality. And in the different countries, in the different regions, we are trying to adapt the best we can and continue our efforts in the way to not only have the clinical engineering presence more visible, but to make the difference from the technology point of view in the health services. And in this regard, what are your vision? What do you think that has to be done, the next steps, and how can CED, GCA, our partner in this endeavor, can support you so we can have results in the short, medium, and long time? Who would you like to begin by answer this question? Ashnafi, would you like to comment something? Please?
Yes, thank you so much, Fabiola. Just to begin with one of the questions that has been asked by Kuhn, I think pertinent to clinical engineering, the naming in of the societies in Africa is different in different countries, but one way or another, we are working as clinical engineers, maintenance engineers, biomedical engineers. So one way or another, we are working in this specific field. So just the naming could be different, but the job and the work that we are doing is a clinical engineering work. So having said this, our vision and in the future,
Ashnafi, it is difficult to
we
listen.
hope want to see Africa to be prosperous. We want to see now. Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, now it's clear.
Yes. So our vision is we want to have Africa to be a prosperous as a continent, and as a profession, we want our professionals to be very strong, very educated, and their capacity to be built to have a very good collaboration, to have a very good team spirit wherever they are. We are Africans, and as a continent, we want to be together with all other professionals in the world, where most of the challenges we face in Africa pertinent to maintenance, capacity building, and other challenges will be lessened, and we may not face in the future. So I want to see, a more developed professionals, highly educated professionals in our field, where we can solve most of the challenges of Africa pertinent to clinical and biomedical engineering. We may not be the one. We may pass away. We may die, but our children will take over and will also have a very bright future in the coming time. So that's my vision, my personal perspective. And the challenges, I think Salom has already indicated the challenges pertinent to language, time zone, and all these challenges are already there. Capacity building has been raised, and the solution has been also indicated by Mladen. And I believe capacity building is not a one-time job. It's a continuous activity where we need to build our capacity day in and day out. And we have also continue our education. So capacity building, knowledge sharing, and everything will be a continuous process. And it will not be a job, but it's part of our life. So we learn from experience, we learn from our life, we learn from our colleagues, we learn from education, we learn from all the idea that we share. So learning is a process, I believe. So that will be a continuous job and a day-to-day activity from our region, not only from us, not only from CED, not only from IFMBE, but from all over the world who are working in this area. So we believe most of the challenges that has been explained pertinent to this region will be the one that we will face, but we will work together. And I hope CED division, GCEA, IFMBE, and even other professionals, even all of you will support us, and we will solve so many problems. I believe George has already joined, and most of our colleagues have joined, so they may have their thoughts. And back to you. Thank you so much, Fabiola. Thank you for the organizers. Thank you so much. We cannot thank you enough. Thank you so much.
No, Shnafi, thank you for your efforts. Thank you, all your colleagues for everything you have done. Now, as you said, we have here George Wadu, welcome. And I set the floor to you so you can express your comments, your thoughts on this celebration. Welcome, George. The floor is yours.
Hello, Fabiola.
Hello.
Yeah, hi, everybody. So just to contribute to what Ashnafi and other panelists have already discussed, one area that we also have to look within the African region concerning the clinical engineering practice is the issue that also deals with regulation. Regulation of the clinical engineering professionals. In many of our African countries, our profession is not regulated as compared to the other professionals within the healthcare sector. And for instance, in Ghana, within the healthcare sector is only clinical engineering professionals that are not being regulated. And that is a very big challenge for us. All the other professionals within the health sector are being regulated. We have the Allied Health Council, who is regulating all the allied health members. And then we have the Medical and Dental Council. We have the Nursing Council and the likes. But when it comes to clinical engineering, we are actually in a fix. Although we have engineering council, we're trying to push our regulation through engineering council, but we are having some challenges. So I think this is also pertaining to other African countries. And with this, the issue of regulation also comes with job creation. Those professionals that are being regulated are normally get employment through the ministry. So the ministry give clearance to most of the professional associations, professional groups that have regulation, but less for biomedical engineers or clinical engineers, less or none for the clinical engineers. So for the clinical engineering professionals, it becomes very difficult getting employment. And whenever we try to push or even send requests for employment from the government sector, they keep on telling us that, oh, we are waiting for financial clearance before we can employ you. And we'll sit for 2 years and you'll be seeing that, you will see that the other professionals are getting financial clearance all the time. Nurses, the radiographers, the pharmacists, and the likes keeps on getting financial clearance every year. But for clinical engineers, it takes a very long time before we can even get a small slot. So this is one of the challenges that we are having in Africa. So the issue of regulation, job creation is also a challenge in Africa. And if we can get more support, especially to push from the WHO to be able to give full recognition to biomedical, so that the countries, the member countries can give full recognition to clinical engineering practice. I know there's a policy or the human resource document for WHO specify that every health facility must have some required number of biomedical or clinical engineering professionals. And this is not being implemented in Africa. And so through the support of IFMBE, Clinical Engineering Division, GCA, if we can able to push through the WHO to be able to make the national or the member state, especially in Africa, being compliant to the document in the human resource document. Thank you.
Thank you, George, for your comments. Very, very important issues that you have put on the table, the regulation and the job creation. It is a regulation issue is a global issue, right? Even though some other countries may be very advanced on clinical engineering issues, regulation is a barrier that seems to stop us, but it is the time to see it as an opportunity to get into this field. And in the other challenges that you have mentioned, we had some tools in the projects that Milan mentioned it before that can be helpful for having an analysis of the situation in order to making plans and deal with these challenges, and especially the book of knowledge, book of practice survey that was delivered to you may be very useful to identify this capacity that has to be built. And from this, we can organize from CED and from the region and with the collaboration of other colleges, the programs to help the professional formation of our engineers. So we can talk to this later, and I'm very glad to help. Now we have Francine Umutesi here with us. Welcome, Francine. I'd like to share the mic with you so you can share with us your thoughts and feelings. The floor is yours, Francine.
Thank you so much, Fabiola. Thank you, everyone. It's good to be here today and to discuss clinical engineering in Africa. So I want to really add a lot from what my colleagues have mentioned, but particularly in Rwanda, we are lucky a little bit to have the support of the government, not as much as we wanted, but with the new pandemic, with the plan for Rwanda to become a medical tourism, there are a lot of arguments that are supporting the clinical engineering field development in different areas. So I would say that the Association of Biomedical Engineers is developing. We have around 300 members for now, and most are very young engineers, technicians who are finishing in the school here in Rwanda, in the Polytechnic. Others, very few, around 30, are people who studied biomedical engineering in abroad, in Europe or China or US. So we are trying to professionalize the field. We've conducted awareness programs, and recently in 2020 we got the number of technicians to be increased in hospitals, public hospitals, from 1 to 2. So it's baby steps, but we are getting there. And for now, we are registered as health allied professionals, and the Ministry of Health now nominates the staff to go to the biomedical engineers and technicians to go to the hospitals. We are advocating to increase the number. We are advocating also for the salary to be reviewed, because most of them are paid a very small salary compared to other professionals in health. The other thing is through the Rwanda Biomedical Center where I work, we are conducting trainings, mentorship programs for biomedical technicians and engineers in hospitals. We are collaborating with the association itself to see how the association can build the regulatory body, be recognized as an NGO or non-profit organization, and be able to raise their own funds and support the government's efforts in this field. So this is something we are working on, and we have different interested development partners to support the field of biomedical engineering. We have a school that started delivering master's programs in Rwanda. So in biomedical engineering, the Center of Excellence in Biomedical Engineering under the University of Rwanda. So all these are efforts to improve this field, and I'm really proud to be part of this. And I invite everyone to work with us and to discuss anything that can help us, but also for us to share our best practices. Thank you so much. I won't take much time.
Thank you, Francine. Thank you so much. As you can see, we have a very complete picture of the challenge that must be faced in the region. And from CD, I repeat it, it is our commitment of helping you the way we can. So if not all, but most of them could be treated and approached by the support of all of us. So thank you so much for your participation. It is about the time to close these sessions because we have another one in a few minutes. But before we go, I would like you, if you can, to open your camera so we can take a picture of this wonderful meeting. And I will open the mic to all our participants, so we can together say to our college, congratulations, welcome to the IFMBE, but most of this, thank you so much for being here, for your efforts, for everything you do for your countries, for your region, and you know you have a friend in each of one of us. So if you're ready, and if it is a nice to have you.
I don't have the camera available yet, Fabiola.
Okay, no problem. But you know I know you are with us. George, okay. Thank
Yes.
you so much. And if you're ready, 1, 2, 3, congratulations, welcome. Thank you, and see you soon. And assistants, please, audience, join me. Please.
Congrats, welcome.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Welcome, Africa.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Congratulations. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, and
Yes,
see you
I would
in.
like to congratulate this fantastic progress. My congratulations.
Thank you, and see you in.
And we are stronger when we're together. That's our motto.
Of course.
Yeah, we are stronger and much more happy as well.
That's right.
Yes.
Okay, see you in the next webinar. Please join us to a wonderful topic we're going to deal with. Thank you so much. Good day.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Good day.
Goodbye.